Small mistakes don't look dangerous. They don't make noise. They don't draw attention. Most of the time, they go completely unnoticed. But sometimes, those small mistakes are the beginning of something much bigger. Because in engineering, it's rarely the obvious things that cause disasters. It's the tiny details, the ones people overlook, the ones that seem too small to matter. And yet, history has shown those are often the most dangerous of all. Let's explore it right here on Zentino Facts. At first glance, most structures look strong. Bridges stretch across rivers, planes soar through the sky, dams hold back massive amounts of water. Everything looks solid, reliable, under control. But beneath that confidence is something most people never see: precision. Engineering is not about being almost right. It's about being exactly right. Because even the smallest error can quietly grow into a disaster waiting to happen. Take bridges, for example. There have been cases where a single design flaw, almost invisible, was enough to bring everything down. At the beginning, nothing seemed wrong. The structure stood firm. Cars passed over it every day. Life continued as normal. But deep inside the structure, stress was building. A tiny weakness, a small miscalculation, repeated over time, until one day the pressure became too much, and without warning, the entire bridge collapsed. No explosion, no dramatic sign beforehand, just a sudden failure caused by something so small it was almost ignored. Now think about airplanes. Today, flying is one of the safest ways to travel, but that safety comes from extreme attention to detail. Every system, every measurement, every calculation must be exact. There was a moment in history when something as simple as a unit conversion went wrong. One system used one set of measurements, another used a different one. On paper, it didn't look like a big issue, but in reality, it meant the aircraft didn't have enough fuel to complete its journey. Mid-flight, the engines began to fail. What started as a small calculation error quickly turned into a life-threatening situation in the sky, all because of a simple mismatch that should have been caught. And then there are dams, massive structures built to control nature itself. They are designed to handle enormous pressure, millions of tons of water pushing against them every second. But even here, small mistakes can be deadly. In one case, engineers underestimated how water would behave under extreme conditions. Just a slight misjudgment. When heavy rains came, water pressure increased beyond what the structure could handle. Cracks began to form. The structure weakened, and eventually it failed. Within minutes, entire communities were flooded. Lives changed forever because of a detail that seemed small during the design process. Here's what makes these stories unsettling. The disasters didn't happen instantly. They built up over time, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. A tiny crack grows, a small error repeats, a warning sign is missed, and everything appears normal until it isn't. In some cases, something as simple as a missing bolt has led to catastrophic failure. Machines tearing apart, structures collapsing under pressure, all because one small component was overlooked. It sounds unbelievable, but it's real. And it reveals something important. In complex systems, everything is connected. One small failure doesn't stay isolated. It spreads. It affects other parts. It grows. And when it reaches a certain point, the entire system can break. That's why engineers test everything, again and again. They simulate failures. They check every detail. They plan for situations they hope will never happen. Because they understand something most people don't think about. There is no such thing as a harmless mistake in engineering. Only mistakes that haven't caused problems yet. And behind every disaster, there is often a moment where everything could have been prevented. A calculation double-checked, a detail reviewed, a small concern taken seriously. But in that moment, it seemed unnecessary. It seemed fine, until it wasn't. So the next time you cross a bridge, board a plane, or stand near a massive dam, Remember this. What keeps these systems safe isn't just strength, it's precision, it's attention to detail. It's the understanding that even the smallest mistake can have the biggest consequences. Because in engineering, small mistakes don't stay small, they grow. And when they do, the results can be impossible to ignore. Thanks for watching.